What's up, guys? Welcome to another video, and today we are reviewing Rocky 5. And honestly, Rocky 5, in my opinion, is by far the weakest entry in the series because it just wasn't enjoyable. Like Rocky 5, to me, I think the story could have been good, I think the story, could have been better. It's just execution-wise and structure-wise, it was just not good. Just the idea of Rocky training a student and essentially becoming the mentor now, that is an interesting storyline. Unfortunately, it was not done well in this one, because... And then you have the main villain essentially being this business guy, who by far has to be the most cheesy and over-the-top villains I've ever seen in my goddamn life. It's like, I've seen 90s villains, I've seen 90s villains, being super over-the-top, but this just takes the cake, bro. Besides maybe Arnold, but come on. Plus the acting at times can be very questionable at times. This freaking dude, bro, was so out of place. And what I thought of the Tommy character, he was just a sissy. You are gonna listen to a guy you just met less than a day and already you trust him? Listen, I don't know what Sylvester Stallone was thinking at that time, but whatever it was, I think your story is interesting. It's just, it just could have been better. And thank God he came in, did Rocky 6, and finally did the franchise justice. Because the Creed movies would, take the whole Rocky treating, a student, or treating, a boxer. That concept came back with Creed, and Creed did it so much better. And in my opinion, this is truly the film where Paulie, Rocky's wife's brother, or his brother-in-law, Paulie in here was basically when he was at his most absolute worst. Because when you come to think about it, he could be the true villain of these movies. Because listen, think about it. In Rocky 1, he didn't like him from the very moment he met him. It all makes sense. And maybe, Rocky's brother-in-law may be a secret villain. If that's the case, man, it would be a really cool twist if Paulie was somehow, the mastermind behind all of this or something. I know it would be super cheesy, but it would make sense, man. Because listen, Rocky 5, man, because Paulie literally decides to give all their life, all their money to a freaking accountant. Oh, we're gonna be better. You're not making things better, bro. In fact, you're probably making the situation worse. Because when you come to think about it, this is the film where Rocky essentially loses everything. Think about it. He lost his money. He lost essentially his career due to his head injury. And now, to me, that would have been an interesting storyline, but the way it was, it's just delivered in such a somewhat cheesy way, man. It's just the music in the background. Plus, I'm gonna downright say it, man. Paulie can be pretty unlikable at some points, because this was honestly his absolute worst, man. Because, like, if I was Rocky, right, I would probably kick him out, man. You know what? You live in the streets, so get out. Because, bro, after all the crap Paulie has put you through, Rocky, you're still gonna let it slide? I ain't letting that slide. Because this is the same guy that literally he did not like Rocky from the very start. From the moment he met him, he didn't like him. It just shows, man. It just shows, man. Because listen, plus the whole Rocky, like, climax of him in a street fight, Rocky's version of a street fight, it was just way too ridiculous. It's just this whole movie as a whole, just the acting at times could be horrible, especially from the main villain of the movie, not Tommy, but the business guy. He was literally, his character was so out of place. Like, everybody else's acting is okay. It's just he's the one that is so over the top. It's actually ridiculous. And in my opinion, a lot of people say that this is the film that basically killed the franchise for a long time. Now, the series would redeem itself with the 6th Rocky film, but we will cover that soon, so stay tuned for that. Overall, Rocky 5 was just a disappointment follow-up to one of my favorite Rocky films, Rocky 4. And it honestly makes the ending of that movie more worthless, because we would know that his career would basically fall after this. But, like, it was just not satisfying, man. And overall, I just didn't really like Rocky 5. It's probably the one that I rewatch the least. Now, because for a long time I've skipped this movie to basically Rocky 6. And you might know my reasons why. But overall, I thought Rocky 5 was just not good. And was a disappointment follow-up to Rocky 4. And that's it. Rocky 5 came out in 1990. Even 90s villains were probably better than this guy here. He was probably one of the worst villains in the 90s. Well, one of the worst 90s villains. But hey, Tommy, I just didn't really root for Tommy really from the very start, man. Like, you seriously gonna trust this guy from, like, the very, like, moment you meet him? No. Don't trust strangers, kids. And his son. I get it. But come on. But hey. So yeah, that's it. Rocky 5 came out in 1990. And although it made plenty of money at the box office, it still mostly got negative reviews from critics and audiences. Basically, to summarize, it may have succeeded at the box office, but it flopped with critics and audiences. Overall, and yeah. And then the franchise didn't return till 16 years later with Rocky Balboa, or Rocky 6 as you call it. Or Rocky Balboa as you call it. But I call it Rocky 6 sometimes. But yeah. Stay tuned for Rocky 6 or Rocky Balboa. And I'll see you guys in the next one. And stay tuned. Alright? Stay tuned. And peace.